Alright, I'm here. It's gonna be a basic day. Lane 14. Just gonna gather logs, and I think I forgot to grab them out of my saddlebag. Sorry. We're just gonna be gathering rosewood logs today. Working on the craft a certain number of 41 to 50 items, I believe it was. I haven't been logged in a couple days either, so my shard collection's a bit behind, but otherwise it's fine. I'll find a spot to put this window that doesn't suck. I have IdleOn open as well. Oh my god, neighbors, fuck off. I'm keeping an eye on what's going on. Hopefully this doesn't crash everything. I'm still not 100% sure if Tap Ninja's why I DC'd that during that New Year's stream, because I turned it on and then suddenly everything shits the bed. I don't know if that's what caused it. I still don't know. Yeah. I have to collect some medallions and shit in IdleOn for the new masterclass that just came out. What was it? It came out basically on the exact same day that the cosmic exploration stuff did. It's just like the worst timing ever. So I don't even know how long this has been out, but I'm working on the World 3 medallion, so I figured, if I'm gonna be doing something kind of boring, let's get both done at once. It's actually visible. Okay, yeah, no, it is. It's technically in the fishing tail window that I had set up before. I have to make it a smidge bigger. Yeah, no, that's gonna be running in the background. I'll leave it like that for now. What I'm looking for are these little silver disc items. The problem is there's another thing that looks like a silver disc that could drop in World 3. Once I hit World 4, that's not going to be a concern anymore. I know what I'm looking for. It's just whether or not I can find it. I have to pick it up manually, which is the problem. Just, yeah, a huge pain in the ass while also collecting dust, but everything else should auto pick up. I just have to also check my inventory because it's dropping, like, gear and shit at the same time. Yeah, confusing mess. Also, my computer's not liking how much memory this is taking up, but if I'm not mistaken, VTube Studio and 14 will calm down on that consumption a bit as I have them running, so I think it should be fine. I'm more worried what it's going to do on the stream end than anything. Yeah, we're going to be doing this today. I also have to grab those logs. Let me, the inventory clean first. Yeah, I have to check in on IdleOn periodically. But I was like, well, I'm not really doing anything that crazy today. Let's just leave it on. Worst case scenario, if things go sideways, I'm just gonna move this character into the caves, into one of the gathering spots. Turn the game off, maybe. That is the Clara walnuts. So I need this. Log. Oh, I might have. Did I even have remaining logs? Is the question. Hold on. Oh, they're still in my inventory. Oh, they're right here. Okay. Swap these. I need a specific amount still. I need 5,289 total. Assuming I don't fuck up a recipe along the line, I shouldn't, but if I accidentally quit, it will delete one. Eventually, so there is a concern. Not a major one, really, in the grand scheme of things. Aren't that hard to gather. Also, I'm not used to having IdleOn minimized or, down to its original resolution. I'm used to having a full screen. That also results in some black bars on the side. Gold saucer first. Yeah, I'm still not feeling up to much right now. Right now is weird when I have 2 games playing at the moment. Then again, I sometimes have 3 separate idle games running all at once, so this is kind of tame. I could have also put on Revelation Idle, but I didn't want to subject people to the seizure simulator. That's basically what it is. It's a lot of flashing colors. I am going to also check what's going on with the moon because I haven't logged in a couple days. Before we get going on anything. I guess worst case scenario, this turns into going in, earning points and stuff. Oh, also I did mute the audio on IdleOn. It has a slight audio glitch where it makes a loud pop sound, so just decided, because it did it like 3 times on setup, I decided to just leave the fucker. Rather than, you know, deal with it. Seriously, why do we not have a better way of getting there? Might be in the unlocks, but the unlocks are also dumb, so... Fuck do I know. So yes, if you hear squeaking, that might be my controller. It is still doing that. Also, it's a Sunday, and none of these have 100 players on them. That's encouraging. Wait, why is it even mentioning that? Didn't they say there was a massive glitch with this and it wasn't working correctly? Man, they didn't even get all that much farther. Last time I was in here, we were 1 step away from the southeastern radius stuff. This. That covers the entire thing. It's like, honestly, the northern section's kind of worse. Still, why was that not, like, the first unlocks, SE? Also, I was looking at the wiki and it said something like 19 upgrades to unlock one of the critical missions. Like, that's too much. But yeah, I was under the impression that something glitched out with this and it wasn't working correctly. Yeah, no, it's not working correctly. Notice one of them is still listed as the Loperate. It fucked up somewhere along the line and did this. They even mentioned it and they're like, yeah, we can't fix the screwed up one. You're just gonna have to deal. So, you know, it's just completely borked. Also, this is where I am progress-wise on this. So, like, I am making progress even though my gear is shit. Neighbors, oh my god, can you not? Why are you all such assholes? Anyway, going back to Gridania. General area. What? Yeah, no, they're having a full, loud-ass conversation in the hallway right now. Yay! Fuck, I hate living here. Seriously, I would have been gone ages ago. I had the money to leave. What was this I needed? What's this? It's this. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna be doing today. Because I can't imagine, to be fair, even if they didn't make those last 2 notes of progress, I'm not gonna go over them and do that. It's so boring. And it doesn't even give lunar credits. When I did the 2-part one, just gave cosmic credits. Just is like, yeah, I can get those on my own quite easily. We're just gonna do this for a couple hours. So I don't want... Essentially why I'm doing this is I don't want to do what I did the last week. Where basically didn't stream at all, except for like 2 days. I didn't want to get something in. Even if it's something small like this. Like, my leg is still fucking killing me, guys. I don't know what to tell you. My tailbone's starting to feel worse. Like, I don't know what else to do. So I will say I might have to just replace my computer chair soon, because it makes a lot of creaking and squeak sounds now. I'm wondering if it's maybe just on the edge of being dead. It already kind of was, because like all the material's peeling the fuck off of it, but you know, you gotta deal with things. Constantly vacuuming up crappy material all the time. Comfy chair, absolutely shit fucking outer material. I'm not even sure how visible that IdleOn window is there. And it's pretty light to look at, I guess. Plus you guys get to see what the fuck I do normally when I'm playing this on my own. This is it. This is what I do. But I am keeping a close eye on frame rates and shit. Worst case scenario, if it butchers everything up, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Like I said, I still don't know why I DC'd during the New Year's stream, because it was a weird DC. I still think it was Tap Ninja's fault, because I can't be bothered to try to test to see what caused it. Yeah, we'll gather a couple of these. Maybe go back to Gridania periodically to send my retainer back out, because I still need soil. This tab is not the one that shows me my soil. Right, that's on minor. Put it in here. Oh, yeah, no, I'm fine for a bit. Okay. It's not even that big of a deal. But yeah, going and doing the cosmic stuff for a bit allowed me to recharge my wind shards a bit. Just doing the gardening as like a side project. Like, it's not a fast way to get shards. You can definitely get shards way faster doing anything else. But when you're, stuck doing a specific task that does not let you gather them for long periods of time, it is a decent method. Yeah, there's some weird spots in here where I end up technically classified as flying. Don't ask. I don't know why. The old Around Reborn areas were never intended to have flight in them. And it shows. Also, I don't know which one was having a fucking hissy fit, but when I tried to export the VOD from yesterday, decided it just wasn't going to. I don't know why. I got it working this morning, but the first export just either didn't happen or got lost in the void somewhere. I don't know what to tell you. It is up on YouTube now. I just gotta, you know, set it up and release it, but, yeah, I don't know what the fuck happens. Fucking kept me up for a while last night, and then I was just like, okay, fuck it. Clearly this isn't working. I'm dealing with it in the morning. And yeah, I haven't been logging in at all. Not even to do experts and shit. Yes, I know I should have done that when I started the stream. I'll do that on my own later, if I feel up to it. Also, maybe do some PvP on my own, because it's on the good map right now. And I haven't done any PvP in a bit. That's kind of the problem, these stupid, like, crafting gathering areas. It's like, oh, cool. So I don't get any progress whatsoever towards anything combat related. It's just utterly useless to me. Oh, and as for IdleOn, only this specific masterclass actually needs to be online to get any progress. The other one got an AFK mode attached to it. I had to go unlock it, but it has AFK abilities now. Sort of. Just not like in the same way everything else AFKs. Basically, every hour of AFK it gets an item that gives it 1 hour of bone collection. But I have to also ramp up into that bone collection, otherwise it doesn't work right. It's very weird. I just have to remind myself I have to do that every time I open that character up. But I do have to check this once in a while. Whoa, hold on. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Maybe I should stream this more often. These are 10%, by the way. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting a better fire bow anytime soon, if ever. Hold on. Lock that motherfucker up. Yeah, it's 179% fire elemental damage and 85% weapon power. Fuck me. Okay. Really now? Because I have to start with a bow that has a decent power level to begin with. Fuck. No, seriously, maybe I should stream this more often, because, like, what the hell? 10% chance and I get 3 successes. Unbelievable. Okay, I can close this. I'm struggling to get 2 most of the time, then I just casually get 3. And no, I can't prevent those things from dropping. They're not included in the frickin' card lists, so you can't throw them onto the drop exclusion thing. Which is annoying, and I really hope that gets updated in, because fuck if I want to pay attention to it all the goddamn time. And again, the medallions do not auto-pick up, so that's the other issue. Yeah, I should probably get off my ass and actually get back to working on the... If not the Alchemist in hand today, at the very least, go do custom deliveries to get the scripts so I can buy the rest of the shit I need to get the others. I still don't know if I can clear the A rank mission. That's gonna be the bottleneck. Then again, I don't necessarily have to clear them perfectly. I just have to, you know, clear them enough so that I can get the points out of it. It just means I might have to do extra work. I haven't been using food on the crafting stuff yet. I haven't needed to. I can get enough progress on... just enough of the missions to make forward progress on unlocking shit. So it hasn't been necessary just yet. Definitely makes things a smidge harder, but who cares? Who cares? I have the bonus EXP, so it's not like I'm missing out on too much. At least I'm not one of those dumbasses who's working on multiple things at the same time. Because you don't get your GP back after missions. Seriously, that dude is gonna fucking suffer. I don't know why anybody would do that, especially when it's, at that point, it was already well known that you got EXP bonuses on the research if you completed one item already. And nobody corrected him either, which was hilarious. So, like, that dude probably actually did it that way. Was likely kicking himself when he fucking saw that, got one of them done. But, I don't think SC's announced that they're fixing anything with this yet. I think the only thing that's come up is the fact that the leaderboard thing is broken. Unfortunately. Because, like, certain botany and mining missions are physically impossible. It is pure RNG. There is no way to influence it. The split difficulty ones, the split, where you need one crafting and one gathering to complete it, is also basically impossible in some situations. One of the fishing ones is physically impossible, I think. I think the only way to get 7 of them would be to triple hook, meaning you have to burn 700 GP for one attempt at getting the crafting to work, and you basically have to get 100% quality. You have to high quality the damn item, otherwise it's not working. Seriously, the more SE it goes into these added updates to Dawntrail, the more I think they just did not test anything properly. Like, honestly, with how bad things are, I kind of wish they had saved this until the next expansion and given it more time to marinate. More time for them to actually test and make sure things were going to work and be humanly possible. But no, now we're just gonna burn through them and keep releasing these parts and not give a shit. Since now it has to be contained within this expansion's update cycle. Like, I have a feeling what's gonna happen is they might make changes to the next cycle, but they're gonna just tell everybody to fuck themselves on this one. Also, it's funny, because I could have sworn there was a way to increase the number of gathering attempts you had that might have gotten removed. And I just missed it. I remember combat stuff more than I do the gathering and crafting. Okay, the only part I remember about the crafting is those stupid soul stones. We had basically the equivalent of job crystals for crafting. You could only have 3. They said they'd allow us to get all 8. That never happened. And then they basically deleted a bunch of the abilities. I think there's only like 1 you get out of them now. Which is just like, at that point, just delete the crystals. If you can't be bothered to give us the rest of them, just delete them and leave the one ability or get rid of it. Another one of those systems where they're like, hey, this is a cool idea, and then they just abandon it somewhere along the line. Decent Thing technically got that treatment. Edgy Glamours has basically gotten that treatment. They finally made an updates that made me think they might do Edgy Glamours, and yet still hasn't happened. And then they're like, oh, by the way, have fun dealing with the content that's physically impossible. Thanks, Essie. Yeah, no, I could have sworn we had an ability to increase the amount of gathering attempts you got. Because that's what it is. You have to get chains. And your chains max out based on, you know, obviously how many attempts you have at gathering. Like in this case, that's a chain of 5. Because there are 6 attempts. As the first one doesn't count as part of the chain. It counts as the start of the chain, but the second hit is when it actually starts upticking. But randomly, the way that one works is it will spawn one that has 5 attempts. All of them will be 4, except occasionally you'll get one that can give you a 5th attempt. And that one gives you 150 when you chain it. Which is the only way to complete it. And it, like I said, it's pure RNG. There is no way to influence it. Both botany and mining have the exact same issue. It is only on A rank. All the other ones are easily completable without any difficulty. There's also ones where it's like both chains and gathering boon, which is the old high quality system. That would be gathering boon. Are both applied to points, and those ones are so much easier. You can still fail them just due to bad luck because gathering boon. Sometimes it gives you the XCOM treatment. There's just nothing you can do about that, but yeah. There's still a lot of stuff I have to like catch up on. There's the old Realm Reborn achievements, which I kind of want just for the hell of it. Like, I'm doing these more for busy work than anything else, and the fact that they exist. Sometimes I just do this because it's like, well, it's nice and relaxing. I don't actually have to deal with other people. It's nice. It's nice to not have to fucking worry about somebody screwing me over. Which is why I used to like doing fishing, and now we have deep sea. Where people proceed to screw me over all the time. Okay, IdleOn's lagging a tiny bit, but like, who the fuck cares? It's not like I have to worry about its lag causing me problems. It really doesn't matter. Oh, also, speaking of IdleOn, that reindeer that keeps popping up, that's part of the Windwalker's mechanics. It also has a medallion, but I got that by accident yesterday, so I don't have to worry about that one. The medallions, they have a couple bonuses, but like the one that matters is it gives me, I believe, gives me damage percentage for each one. I think defense was the other thing. But it's 2 separate stats. I can't be bothered to open the window to check. So thank fuck Essie eventually changed how the stacks work. So now it's remember the days when this used to be 99 per stack for these things? Y'all remember that? I remember that. Fuck that day. Especially considering the fact that they eventually increased how much you need material-wise for, like, recipes as time went on. If you wanted to get anything done, you would have had to have several stacks of logs in your inventory. Yet we still don't have a bait bag, and I'm gonna keep pointing that out till we finally get an actual one. Not just, you know, the Cosmic Exploration one, or the you can shove high qualities into your pockets now one. That's the one that proved to me they could do a separate bait bag and just refused to. You can stick 3 large fish in your inventory if they can be used for mooching. They have individual slots in the fishing bait menu. But it's not part of your regular inventory, they're actually separate. It physically takes them out of your regular inventory. And puts them in hammer space, basically. That's why I'm so fucking mad about the whole thing. Like, seriously, why do we keep punishing people who like the niche fishing content? Keep adding in at least, like, almost 10 types of bait every frickin' expansion now. Half of it is bought with scripts, so, like, I really don't want to get rid of it in a lot of cases, because I just don't get enough scripts back to justify it. I still need purse spiders, I think they're called, for one fish in Heaven's Ward, because it is being a dick and refuses to get caught. Ironically, that thing I was talking about with the hammer space fish will potentially make that a smidge easier now. Because I can store a few of the things I need for it in the bag. It also technically made FFXIV and what the fuck was it called? The Greater Serpent? I don't remember. The Serpent of Ronka basically is a fish, and it matches off of FFXIV. That technically got easier because of the exact same thing. Because now you can store what you need for the mooching in your bag for later. You can actually set up ahead of time, get like 3 in your bag, and then you've got 3 attempts right off the bat. In the 2-hour game window that pops up. Why I keep pointing out that the fishing was never meant to be on a strict timer. Because, like, yeah, you have 5 minutes, technically, to, you know, actually catch the fucking things. But you can set up ahead of time and get things ready for when the window opens. Like, there's ways to make things better. To increase your odds of actually succeeding. Also, FFXIV is just a pain in the ass. Don't worry about it. That thing always escapes. That's why I'm mad that they attached another fish to it. I finally caught it. My actual... I have a Google Doc that lists what I need and what I finished off from that list. It has little notes everywhere, and it quite literally says, fuck, FFXIV has come back to haunt me. In one of my notes, because that is essentially what happens. I finally caught it, and they're like, oh, by the way, now it's part of another chain. Have fun. Yeah, no, it just always escapes. It doesn't matter what your stats are. Its RNG is so dumb. Getting trolled by a gator. A gator with a fancy name. Also, I was kind of thinking about this the other day, and I just remembered. Hey, Essie, why don't we bring it back any of the old relic systems? People have pointed out before, why didn't we bring back attaching materia to, like, a piece of paper to attach it to the weapon? Because that was in the first relic phase. The first set of relics, the Zodiac ones, in A Realm Reborn. That never came back. Now, in A Realm Reborn, it was a pain in the ass because materia was hard to get, and it destroyed the piece of gear when you were, you know, trying to get it, so... It made sense that they didn't bring it back right away, but materia is fucking easy now. I'm always creating materia to some extent, or have some way of getting it. So why do we not use those old systems? We also technically haven't done fates for a relic weapon in a while either. The resistance weapons had fates as a secondary way of getting some of their parts. But for the most part, if you were playing as it was going on, you were using the resistance areas to get the items for the relic weapons. You weren't using the secondary systems that were put in as a backup when inevitably the resistance areas died out. So, like, why? You could just bring them back. It wouldn't be that much of a big deal. Because we've never truly had a full resistance weapons. We've never technically had a full relic set with shared fates in being active. At least not as the main intended method, anyways. The last time we did that was Heaven's Ward, where it was the intended method. Though with that one, you could skip them if you destroyed your original Zodiac weapon. Which I did, because fuck doing that again. Granted, I made 5 weapons and I only had 2 completed Zodiac ones. So I still ended up having to do some of that. It wasn't that bad. People complain about it, but like... Honestly, if we did it with shared fates, at least I'd have a reason to do shared fates. I fucking hate doing fates. There's no reason to do them. Like, oh good, there's items attached. Like, so what? It's not enough to incentivize me to actually give a shit. It's like the fact that you unlock character costumes for getting them past certain level requirements in a trust system. It's not enough to make me give a shit about leveling them. There's like also some achievements attached, but it's not enough to make me care. Like, fates are easily some of the most boring content in the game. At least back then, back in A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward, there were reasons to do them. That went beyond, oh hey, you get a shiny bauble by the time you're done. It's like, okay, cool, I get a weapon that's better than anything I could possibly get on my own. Without, you know, raiding or shit. Give me something to actually work towards. Also, I straight up did not have trouble getting the Atma the first time around. That was 2 days of grinding for me. 2 days. I only had problem with one of them, and of course it was the last one I worked on. And I did that entirely solo. I didn't join a party the entire time. I didn't need to. Granted, back then it was very easy to cheese the shit out of Bard by just running into the middle of the pack of enemies and turning on Requiem. I didn't need a group. There were so many people there, I didn't have to worry about the actual enmity, but I'd have the claims on every single mob. Because the moment they spawned in, they would aggro to me and then immediately get picked up by somebody. It's like, you know, if you're not shit at the game, you don't need a party to do fates, guys. Yeah, that was 2 days of grinding. That was it. That's all it took me on the first one. And as with, like, taking proper breaks and going and getting food, too. I wasn't just, like... I also didn't pull an all-nighter. That was just 2 days. It was 2 days of work. That's it. But, like, I need more of an incentive to do fates than they exist. Go do them. Fates are basically one of the issues I had with Guild Wars 2 because it had a similar system. It was like, oh, it makes the world feel alive. Yeah, until you've seen it like 50 times, and then you're like, oh, it's up again. Okay. The people on that bridge can only get kidnapped so many times before I stop giving a shit. You're also like, oh, it's gonna affect the world. It only really did in, like, very small instances in A Realm Reborn, and then they stopped doing that because it was a pain in the ass. It also really didn't even open up that much, except, like, some Orchestron rules. Later on, because that wasn't a thing right away. Like, if you play the game for more than just, like, 5 minutes, it really stops mattering when the NPCs get kidnapped all the time. Or that some big bad shows up in a location that's not affecting any NPC whatsoever. But it tells you it is. But it's like, yeah, it's here like every other hour. Who cares? It's only cool like the first couple times you see it, and then it's just dumb. And in some cases, straight up in the way. You know, IdleOn do be lagging. But, like, as long as it's just IdleOn lagging and nothing else, who cares? It's fine. Yeah, I had that issue with Guild Wars 2 pretty significantly. Especially with how fucking broken Guild Wars 2 was on launch. Because it actually locked your ability to complete the story because a bunch of the event lines were broken and wouldn't progress past certain points. Because for some reason they just, like, didn't bother to test any of it. I don't know what happens. Then again, with how often I went through walls, I wouldn't be surprised if they just straight up didn't test anything. In Guild Wars 2, those walls were a suggestion, not a reality. Especially if you played Mesmer. The number of times I went through the wall or the floor was way too damn high. Shit, on the last boss fight for the story, I actually went through a wall and ended up inside the airship's main room. By accident. I was not intending to do that. It actually ended up being really helpful because it gave everybody an opening to get my ass up because I was knocked out. I was on the ground. Because that one gives you a brief moment where you can get your teammates back up or you can get yourself back up. The problem is you had to teleport as a Mesmer when you were on the ground, so sometimes you just ended up going through the floor by accident, or a wall, or just anywhere you were not intending to go. The number of times I did that in the middle of a critical fight, too damn high. Did it during a couple story missions, did it during a dungeon with friends, it was just like such a huge mess. Oh, didn't just do it during a dungeon, did it in the middle of a boss fight and had to teleport myself through a different wall to get far enough out so I could teleport out of the room and back to where I needed to be. Not even joking. Like, legit, those things were fucking suggestions, not actual walls. Keep in mind, Guild Wars 2 was before Realm Reborn came out, so I was honestly a little surprised with how little errors I had with the terrain when the game came out. Okay, granted, some enemies had more issues with the terrain in Heaven's Ward. That was funny. There's just that one bear that was stuck in an ice pillar, hovering about above the ground, just chilling. The only time I've ever been out of bounds was an old bug in a Realm Reborn that got patched when Heaven's Ward came out. Which, to be fair, considering we eventually got Flight, does make sense. We eventually got Flight in the old areas. They kind of had to fix it. Because you could hit enemies under the map from it. Which was kind of the problem. Line of sight doesn't exist when you're under the ground. So, like, you could hit the enemies, but they couldn't hit you back, and that was kind of a huge issue. But it only happened in, like, one area. If you see bots off the map, it's because they're doing something on their end. Not because the game necessarily has a hole in the walls somewhere. So, I don't see that happen as often anymore, quite likely, because it just makes it so much more fucking obvious that you're doing it. It's like, the game masters can get out into the world and they are physically invisible. Why would you make it that fucking obvious that you're screwing with the game? Because I do remember this one bot situation in New Gridania years ago. There was a chain of bots. They were clearly floating above the ground and passing through certain surfaces. I think they were doing story content, because you have to get to a certain spot to really get anything done. They did that to try to hamper the bot's ability to do things. It sort of works. It's not great. Like, they still happen. But at least they're doing something compared to the shit they did in 11, where they're like, oh, the bots are abusing this thing. Let's also screw over the regular players at the same time. That happened a lot with fishing. It's like, oh, the bots are making money off of here? Well, too bad. The players can't use it either. Also, the bots were nowhere near as bad there as they were here. At least the RMT shouting and shit. That wasn't... I don't remember that ever being as big of a thing when I played 11. That became more of an annoyance with 14. Now it's absolutely constant. There's always somebody fucking around and shouting about RMTs. Though I've been digging around Gridania and haven't seen as much of it as I used to. I noticed. I don't know, maybe they are getting some handle on it. Who knows? Or they've just changed methods from shouting out in the open to doing something else. Who the fuck knows? Also, it just seems kind of pointless to advertise in game when you could just pay a little extra to Google to get your search results put up on, like, the top of the page. Because people are inevitably gonna Google how to buy Gil in 14. Also, if you get scammed by those, you absolutely fucking deserve it. It's 2025 now, guys. You should fucking understand this by now. It's It's not like MMOs are new things. It's very obvious that most of this shit is a scam. Will inevitably result in your account being downed. If the guild sellers don't steal it for their own uses. Also, it's kind of utterly pointless to even worry about guild in this. Yeah, there's some guild syncs, but like, most of what you're going to be doing does not involve guild, it involves tomes. Guild has very few uses, really, in the grand scheme of things, except maybe getting extra materia and setting up for raids, but like, most raid groups also have an Omni Crafter and Omni Gatherer. A lot of raid groups are entirely self-sufficient and don't need to spend money. Like, the entire reason I have Gil is just, I don't spend it. I don't spend it constantly. That's it. That's the secret. You just don't spend it all the fucking time on frivolous items. And, you know, do challenge logs and shit. Challenge logs, do content, eventually you're gonna have some fucking pocket change. Like, that's it. That's all I've really done. The last time I seriously managed to ever sell anything was back in A Realm Reborn, when the crafted and decenting parts of the relic were added. That was it. That's where I got a lot of my money. Most of it was just by doing fucking content and not worrying about buying every tiny little thing. And getting most of it for myself. Like, in the case of minions, most of them are obtained by myself. We're just waiting for prices to drop. Also, keep in mind, I think I bought my house when they were still a little more expensive on this server. They weren't the original insane prices that were there to get rid of some of the extra currency we had carried over from 1.0, but they were still kind of ridiculous. Like, I think the prices have finally settled out and they're the same across the board now. I think. I might be wrong on that. I don't exactly go and look at the prices all the time. But then again, I've had people ask, did you have trouble getting your house? And I was like, nobody was buying them then. Because the server wasn't overpopulated like it is now. I got my player house when they just added in the subdivisions. They just were not selling that fast. And I think we had to wait for the prices to drop, because I think they started slightly higher right off the bat. I don't remember. There was something weird when the subdivisions opened. It's like, almost all the goblet houses were still available, except, like, the ones right by the waterfall. Those are, like, the only ones in the goblet that anybody cares about. The Firmament copy and the Kugane area didn't exist back then. It's still just a Realm Reborn. So they basically functionally doubled the housing at that point. And nobody was really buying them up that quickly. That was it. That's all it was. There was no housing issue back then. Now there's 5 separate areas with subdivisions in every single one of them, and it's just like everybody's constantly bitching about housing. And I keep pointing out that none of the fucking apartments have ever sold out fully. If you just want your own private space, just get an apartment. They're not subject to auto deletion. Like, shit, I went looking through the apartments in my subdivision, and I was like, yeah, some of these are kind of cool. And then I looked it up, and it was like, oh, they've never been subject to auto deletion, like the housing is. They've never had to be. Despite the fact that people keep bitching about the fact that there's not enough housing, the apartments just don't sell. Like, the only downside, really, to going apartment instead of a house is you have less room, and you don't really have a chocobo stable. Because nobody cleans the fucking thing. Because it's a group stable, so nobody bothers. Like, if you just want your own personal space, just go with an apartment. Especially if you're not playing the game consistently enough to keep it open. Again, it's not subject to auto deletion. They've at no point ever sold out the apartments. Every time they added a new housing area, they added a shit ton more because there's one apartment section in every single section. Which, fuck, I don't remember how many slots that is. Actually, hold on. How many slots is it? Let me look that up. I don't remember all the housing details. I just remember that main part. Also, it's just, like, fucking cheaper. It's 500,000 gil for the apartment. And then you don't have to buy that stupid fucking housing pack to build it. It's just there. Because buying the land for a house is not the full cost. You have to buy this kit that comes with it in order to build the house. Which is why you sometimes see empty plots that are owned by players. If you do not build on it within a certain amount of time, it also just... it tosses you out of the location. Currently 27,000 apartments per server, and that's assuming that this data is even correct. And its main downside is you don't have garden patches because you can't build them, so you can't do crossbreeding for plants, and that's about it. You do get flower pots, so you can make flowers for the hair accessories and stuff. Can't store outdoor furniture, but, like, again, you don't have an outdoors. That is specifically linked to being outdoors. You have 4 vendors. You basically get... wait, can you actually have 4 vendors? Because that doesn't make any damn sense. Oh, you also can't share them. You can't do the, there's a share feature with the housing where you can give other people access. Like, fuck, they never fill up. People are always complaining about the housing. It's like, Jesus fuck, guys. I don't think these have ever at any point filled up. I used to have an apartment on top of the house for storage reasons, and I eventually deleted it because I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I didn't need to anymore. I might buy another one just so I have another space to hide out in. Plus, I have like scraps of furniture from like FC apartments and the old apartment as well. Just make another little area to hide out in. That's pretty much what my apartment is. It's my little space to go hide out in because people are annoying. Sorry, just checking to see if medallions respond. Really wish they were auto pickup. No, they drop on the ground and then they sit there forever. As far as I can tell. The actual drop rate is like 1 in 43,000 right now for this world. In case anybody's wondering what I'm doing, you can't increase the drop rate, but it's per world as far as I can tell. I don't know if the spirit reindeer is on the same drop rate or not. If it shares the current world's drop rate, then going back to World 1 and trying to spawn it there would have been a better idea. Doesn't matter, I already have it, so... Yeah, no, I don't know. I just find it wild that people bitch about it constantly, and yet most of the people that bitch about housing wouldn't use any of its outdoor features anyways. Like, part of the reason is to have the outdoor gardening part, and then I see so many houses I just don't utilize it at all. Half the time mine's completely empty too, because I'm not actively working on any given project at any given time. Okay, to be fair, I also don't know what to work on with it most of the time. I'm doing the shards thing because it's easier right now. Also, yes, I know my retainer came back. I've kind of just been ignoring that. I also don't need to bother as much, I realized. Yeah, soil situation's not as bad as I thought it was. Yeah, the housing thing is just like... It's just kind of a sigh. It's kind of an issue for FCs mostly, but then again, so many FCs are using theirs to run clubs out of, so it's just like... Maybe just kick them out of their housing and give them to people who want to use it as an actual fucking house. I don't know. Because I could sure do with those ads fucking dying already. Motherfuckers will teleport across servers and data centers to go advertise their shitty club, and I'm just like, oh my god, can you just fucking not? To that point, it's a fucking job, and I'm just like, what are you doing with your life then? There's a lot of shit the players do where I'm just like, at this point you're treating it more like a job, maybe you should go touch grass. Like, even with the live streaming, I treat this very fucking casually compared to some people. I'm literally just sitting here gathering fucking rosewood logs because I don't feel like doing much else today. And it's something to work towards. But I'm also not the one insisting that my house exists for the sole purpose of entertaining others. And then making it everybody else's problem. And then going out of my way to make it every other server's fucking problem. Oh my god, seriously guys, get a fucking life. It's toned it down a bit, but there were points where I'd sit in Gridani and get ads for like 5 separate cafes in the span of like 30 minutes. Repeated ads, by the way, not like one for each. Actually, hold up. I was about to say I'm gonna go take a break, but I should probably be locked onto a node at least first. Just in the case somebody decides to troll. There we go. Okay. Oh, right. If I do it this way, I can't put the iCam on. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. We'll go back to the camp then. I just realized the iCam doesn't work when attached to a node like this. It's been a while since I've done anything like this, so... just kind of forgot. So yeah, we'll head back into the camp, or at least I can't be screwed with too badly. Problem is I went through a different space this time. There we go. Oh, also... no, that's the captain. We only have the other ones. Yeah, okay. I was like, wait, does this NPC have the crafting ones? No, different NPC. Okay. Oh, wait, there is one of those NPCs. You probably have some woodworking ones, don't you? Some carpentry. That I haven't done yet. Yes, you do. I'll have to remind myself these are here. That's something else I was working on. Was a unique quest done. Anyway, I know you're putting the cam on, running some ads. I will be right back. yes, there would be monkey butt on my screen when I come back to my computer. There would be. Fucking typical, iCam. Fucking typical, man. So that took me a little longer because I realized IdleOn was over top of my mute button. Oops. Wait, that's a 52 start. Yeah, no. There's no way I'm hitting 3 on that again. Not anytime soon, anyways. Alright. I guess since I'm out here anyways, let's go back to grid and, go get my retainer out running again. And maybe go get those scripts I was talking about. Get the custom delivery stuff done. To actually check the list and see which ones have a bonus right now. Okay, it might not matter on the soil, but the Roan retainer still needs leveling. There you go. Okay. Plus. Yeah, I'm past the halfway mark on what I still need to collect. The problem is if I start crafting now, I've got to recalculate everything, so I don't want to do it. I'm also going to try to go for high qualities on a lot of it because I also need that achievement as well. So boy, can you tell what I've been up to. Oh, right. I totally forgot. I had this one marked and then I just didn't do it. I got this while working on everything else. So that can be removed from the wish list. It totally didn't cross my mind that this was the achievement I had gotten when it popped up. It was that it was the one for getting Gatherer's Bin, which used to be the high quality achievement. Just completely whooshed. This is what we're specifically working on, by the by. Also trying to work on this as well. Well, I guess technically this is what we're working on, but you get the idea. This is just an easy spot to get the high qualities. It just takes forever, but I also have a macro to do it. So, it's not that bad. I just have to press one button and then do whatever the fuck I want. If it's dropped, it didn't pick up automatically. I'm pretty sure they just don't have an automatic pickup for whatever fucking reason. I don't know why you wouldn't put that in. To be fair, that medallion window wasn't there originally either, but you could also check that the medallions had dropped by checking their cards, because it put a little icon in the information. Okay. Oh, right. Kurenai's, Red Ruby C. Right. Okay, we're going to Old Charlian, then. We'll use Alchemist. We're going to Old Charlian, and then we're, using the Aetheryte to teleport into the area I actually need to be in. God, shut up. It's not that hard to not be assholes. You guys just fail at every single day. Honestly, with some of the noises they make, I'd swear this place is haunted. But I didn't know better. Was it? Why does that require me to be so close? Just trying to zoom the camera in. Not gonna work. Take me too long. Well, not really, anyways. It's more the math I disagree with. There we go. I don't have to be that precise here. This isn't a cosmic exploration. Done a lot of talking today. It's completely thrown everything off. It doesn't help that I also like hurt my throat on what was it, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. I don't know how. I have absolutely no idea how. I knew I wasn't sick because that didn't make any sense. But it's just like my throat was sore. I don't know. Alright, all done with this one. Oh, good. Also, I ate up some water crystals I super don't fucking need. God damn it, game. I have a shit ton of water crystals due to fishing and culinary indecency. Ripping fish apart over and over again. I'm not gonna give a shit about the purples capping out. Mostly after the oranges, I don't feel like having to constantly swap these out for materia of all things. It's the orange scripts that matter here. Get new books right now? Actually, maybe, yeah, I can. Hold on. It's not gonna matter. I'm gonna have to keep doing these for a while. Weird. Oh, no, that is on the cutoff. Okay. tell you how many recipes you learn anymore. It used to. Pretty fucking sure it used to. Doesn't do that now. It just says you learn multiple recipes. Cool, thanks. Like, I don't even think SE knows how many are in these anymore. Despite the fact that, you know, their code should be able to tell them. Okay, so I said Kurenai was the other one. Yes, she is. Cloud Pearl. Hold on, we have to get out there first. Also, this area really needs a second aetheryte. I went to the wrong one. I can never tell the difference. The best you can do here with getting across the map is just to go back to Kugane and use the aetheryte to teleport out to this exit. Like, these two aetherytes are almost right on top of each other. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this, Essie? Really now? Also, we gotta come up with a better menu for this. It's starting to get a little crowded. Oh, I needed more. Oh, right. No, this is just really fucking weird. Thanks, Essie. Why did we do it like this again? Why is this one so stupid? I haven't done this one in ages. Yeah, it uses crystals. Neat. Why? No, you don't get multiple off this. I actually have to do some fucking math. And you can't quick synth it! Cool. Great. Thank you, Essie. Oh, they just don't make shit like this anymore. Good fucking riddance. I don't know why you guys didn't go back and adjust this if you're gonna change how the fucking system works so that, you know, this can give you extra. Why add the bonuses in if the older ones suck this hard? Like, no, actually, why did you do it this way? Like, cool, the materials are easy to obtain. I'm not having to go buy a bunch of shit. Why not, you know, adjust these so they don't suck this badly? Even just reducing it so that it's one item per finished material, per component, would have been better. Instead of needing 4 components for 1 pearl. Oh, man. Or at the very least, allow me to auto-synth it. Why wouldn't I want to auto-synth it? Getting high quality on these, if I'm understanding the numbers right, is utterly pointless. It's not like I'm going to fuck up the high quality or the collectible thing later. But what's the point? Like, yeah, it works towards that achievement, but I'd rather do that on basically anything else. That's gonna be the one that's gonna be a huge pain in the ass, by the by, is the alchemy stuff. Culinarian has at least has some ways I could cheese getting the achievement for the high qualities. Like, look at this. I have no way of failing this shit. So why did we do it this way? Like, sure, fine, back when, you know, this first came out, this would have been somewhat difficult. I hit the wrong button. Granted, I really don't need veneration anyways. I'm kind of just doing it because... Yeah, I don't even need veneration, period. Guess that you guys can go back and fix some of your older shit. You don't have to leave it this way. This one doesn't even really seem like that much of a fix. Don't you just have to change the numbers in the back end? Like, again, just reduce this so I only need one cloud pearl component per cloud pearl. That's it. You don't have to do anything else, really. It's still annoying that it has an extra step, but I don't have to waste my time doing that much extra effort or remove the quick synthesis thing. One or the other. God, I'd hate to think about trying to catch up on some of this crap on a new character. And yes, despite this being an older NPC, still getting the 180, because again, it's set to have a bonus right now. Which is why I chose these NPCs and not the newer one. Worry about getting things later, but that's... Yeah, that gave me over 2,000. I don't know what I started at, but that was about 2,000 scripts. So I can get a couple things now. Open up what I can actually do in the cosmic exploration areas. Because again, I'm still using Sky Builder on some things. Because the original plan was to go and, you know, work on the newer relics, and then I just never did it. Because those ones you actually required the relic you were working on to be equipped in order to get the items done, otherwise you couldn't do the recipes. So I would have had to give up my main hand regardless. And I just never got around to it. I partially have the Weaver one done, but it's like halfway through. Granted, I have better gear now. I could just go do it. I do have to replace the accessories. I didn't... These are old ones, right? Not dumb. These are my older ones. Based on the eye level, probably, yeah. They're at least not level 90 ones. I do that sometimes, too. I'm actually a bit more upgraded than I usually am with crafting and gathering. Usually I sit on my old accessories till like the last item release comes out. And then I grab those and I meld them as best as I can to get me through the entirety of the next expansion. That's usually how things go. Can't really do that as much with cosmic exploration. Well, I can to an extent, just not as much. Like my gathering stuff, I definitely used worse gear than what I could have in some places. It didn't matter as much, really, in the grand scheme of things, and it wasn't going to affect certain missions anyways. Like, it wasn't going to do shit on that one that that A rank that requires just chains. It wasn't going to do shit on that one. But the goal right now is to get this, the Innovators, main and offhands for everything. A couple of them have bits and pieces, but not all of it. And I don't think I've equipped the Innovators gear to everything yet. Because the problem is with the crafting stuff, is that the final results actually matter a lot more than they do with gathering, ironically. As impossible as gathering is in certain missions, it matters a lot more to get high qualities and the highest collectible you can. I still end up like having to use all my materials on some of the B rank missions so far, but I have been managing to get golds. That's at least the minimum I can do. I just don't know what the A ranks look like. Excuse me. Hold on, I'm just looking through things. Do that. Yeah, no, not that. There we go. Does VTube Studio have somebody pretending to be them right now? Because I just got followed by another account that has VTube Studio as a name. It looks like a scammer based on its message. It's likely a scam account. What the fuck? Fucking Twitter, man. What a goddamn piece of shit platform. It already was. Now it's just so much worse. Like, I don't know why so many VTubers are obsessed with not letting it go. Like, it's garbage now, guys. Just fucking move to Blue Sky. Like, it's an unusable piece of shit now. This is why I don't post, like, full messages anymore. Unless I'm trying to bitch a company out, it's basically just the most bare-bone post stating I've gone live, and that's it. I don't even post the shorts on Twitter anymore. I can't be bothered. No, if it's about 50, I'll try. I'm not gonna bother with that. Up they go. Also, yes, I still need to do diadem stuff. That's also kind of on the docket as things to do when I really don't feel like doing anything else. Like, it's funny, my motivation to stream the past couple days has been fine, but boy, have I had, like, absolutely no idea what to do. Like, oh, it's almost time to stream, but I really don't feel like doing anything. But I want to stream, but I don't feel like doing anything. It's a weird conundrum. I don't know, I guess my melancholy is just kicking up again. Happens sometimes where I'm like, I have all this shit to do and all these things I want to get done, and I just never want to do them. Because I still have to get that, Palico achievement for 100 Palico missions on Monster Hunter Wilds. It's the only achievement I need. I have all the fucking crowns. I have absolutely every single one of the gold mini crowns, and, it's the Palicos of all things. Of all things that I have not done. But getting those runs done is just fucking tedious, and I don't want to do them. The crown achievements are much more rare, and I have those compared to the Palico ones. But it's the only thing remaining. And I just don't want to fucking do them. Also, my rarest achievements on Steam is completely skewed out of whack now. It was kind of skewed out of whack to begin with because I had a bunch of the achievements from last mission, I think it was called, on the 10.10.2 remix package thing. And now Pixel Puzzles Ultimate has completely skewed everything because a bunch of them are technically rare. It's thrown everything off. It's just kind of funny. Also, that game has over 3,000 fucking achievements, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Most of it's from, like, DLC packs. Also, if I feel like straight being up to it today, I might actually get all the logs collected, you know, today on stream. I don't know. I'll probably tire out before then. Get it done off stream. The problem is then I'd have to, like, commit to actually doing the crafting because I do not have the space to store these. Again, most of my inventory problems would be fixed if Bessie would just give us a fucking bait bag. Seriously, why, Essie? You can't keep doing this. It's such a problem. It's not a good sign when on a fresh character I managed to fill half my inventory bag with various baits in a 1-week period. Like, that should have been the fucking clue that maybe it was an issue. Like, I don't know. Maybe fix this shit already. Like, seriously, look at my inventory. My inventory, it's mostly baits. Mostly bait and lures and shit. A bunch of which I still need to catch things I'm missing. Like, some of those lures are hard to get back if I get rid of them, especially the Realm Reborn ones, you know, back when we had to craft most of them. Also, like, if I want to do deep sea fishing, I need rat tails for something, because for whatever reason, a couple of the fish in there don't use the actual deep sea baits. Wouldn't be so bad if, you know, the blues all use the deep sea bait. They don't. Not at all. Or there's like weird situations where I have to swap baits partway through. Granted, that's not a new thing. It's just really annoying that this thing that has its own unique baits requires me to use bait that is not part of it. Especially rat tails of all things, because that's such an old one. I think it also uses one of the cages as well. I don't remember which one. Ugh. But it uses like krill cage or shrimp cage or something. I think it's krill cage. Also, periodically when the Miggletown events come up, it requires going and getting an old green fish. It usually requires having some old live bait or something. Like, you can't keep making us go back and do some of the old shit if you're gonna not give us a separate bait inventory, guys. Seriously. I don't want to waste retainer space or chocobo saddlebag space on this crap. That'd be stupid. It doesn't do me any good if it's not in my inventory. Jen, I keep pointing this out. It would let us give us the ability to also track where the baits are as well. Especially with the old shit for like new players joining it, it'd be really helpful. I can't tell you how much research I had to do on just finding out where some of the baits were obtained from. When doing the only fish thing. I had to actually look shit up. I straight up didn't know where some of them came from. And then I ended up having to craft one of them anyways, because the quests would not give it to me. There was a chance every day that I could have gotten it from some of the lead quests. Did not work. It was pure RNG to get it to show up. I got some of them that way, but not the one I had been looking for. Because otherwise I wouldn't have completed that one quest that gives you the of Dragon's Deep title. As there was a lure that was specifically required for one of the fish. That's another thing that hasn't really come up. Technically, there's 6 fish that are classified as legendary in the game. And that system has never come up again. There's 6 that are attached to, I believe it's called Feast or Famine, or something like that. That gives you of the Dragon's Deep title. Still one of the coolest titles in the game, and of course it's attached to fishing of all things. But they're technically classified as legendary fish, even though they are still green and don't have anything to indicate they're special at all. Except the fact that they are required from one really weird offshoot quest. One really weird offshoot side quest. Like, the blue ones, as far as I'm aware, are not called legendary either. They're just blues. They're just linked to a completely separate, arbitrary fishing system that requires you to actually put up with other players because it essentially functions alliance raid style. Which is the best way to completely screw over the people that actually care about any of that shit. Because again, it is currently the best way to level fishing, assuming you don't have access to either diadem or cosmic exploration. Because diadem's alright, but like, it is the best way to level fishing currently. If you do not have access to cosmic exploration. I keep pointing that out, and I abused the shit out of it during the cloud server beta test as well. Because I had to get that shit done within a week. I didn't have time to spend fucking around with leveling. I had to do it in 2 days. Those VODs are still on YouTube, by the way. I'm probably just, I've said it before, I'm probably just going to set them up and leave them as unlisted and then leave the playlist public. Because I did put them into a playlist so I could find them easier. I just have to put, like, credits and shit on them. I'm not really going to bother timestamping them because that'd be a huge pain in the ass. I'd originally intended to turn them into like a video, and that's when my fucking motivation died. To do any editing and shit. That was about the same time, but it's been like a year and a half now. There's no point. It was such a unique situation because, like, I'm never gonna get free access to those level skip books ever again. And the story skip. So, like, attempting that exact same thing would cost me money if I ever tried to do it again. It was the one situation where SE was like, well, we need you guys to be as spread out as possible, so we're just gonna give you some freebies to move you along. Also, we've still not gotten any word on whether or not they're gonna do anything with cloud servers, have we? Because again, that's been like a year and a half now. Like, as far as I could tell, they were functional. They were intended to be North America tests, but we had Japanese players and apparently some Brazilian players running around. Like, the servers worked just fine for the most part. I think the only issue I ever encountered with the server was during deep sea fishing. So many people got the same achievement at the same time that the game kind of hiccuped for a second. Which is such a small issue, like, who cares? As long as it doesn't end up crashing the game or crashing the server, it doesn't really matter that much. How often is that going to be a huge problem? Except around, like, certain specific fates at the end of dungeons, but, like, once you got the clear, again, who cares? As long as it doesn't crash the game. That was in a situation where there were 24 players involved, so... Might only be an issue around certain fates and alliance raids. But that was, like, the only big problem that happened that entire time. I don't know. Maybe it's a parts issue. I don't know. That could also be part of the problem. Then they're probably looking at the newer data centers and being like, well, everybody ends up just leaving the data center anyways because nobody's there to actually clear content with, so they just go back to the others either by visiting or just leaving entirely. That's currently what's fucking happening. Except with cosmic exploration, because if I'm not mistaken, they forced it to be server specific. You actually can't get into the area otherwise. To be fair, I think Firmament technically was, but that was so long ago I do not remember. But yeah, since the upgrades are server specific, I think they forced it so people actually have to go do it on that server if they are part of that server. It's one of the few times where we don't have travelers fucking AFKing in arbitrary locations and lagging the shit out of the game. That issue I was having with New Gridania, it's been temporarily corrected, but there's still a shit ton of people with Traveler and Wanderer AFK around the Aetherites. It's not lagging out New Gridania anymore, but it's still just a shit ton of people there for no reason. Also just kind of baffling because it's like not the area where the market boards are, which makes sense why Limsa has issues. Because the main Aetherite's right next to the market boards. So at least that makes sense. I don't know why the fuck everybody keeps AFK in a new grid. Like, the only explanation for the people off data center is that was their starting location. Because when you data center travel, it drops you where your original starting location was. Or it drops you where your Grand Company is. I'm not quite sure. Mine are the same location. So anytime I data center hop for PvP, it drops me in New Gridania. But like, why are you hopping data centers to just fucking AFK on an arbitrary server? That also doesn't make any fucking sense. Because it's not AFK for a few minutes, it's AFK for literal days in some people's cases. We also don't carry player shops around with us anymore. Because that was... I don't remember if we could do that. I know with repairs we could. You could put things in your inventory to be set up in a separate window if people clicked on you. 11 definitely had player shops where you could sell items on your character. You could sell them on the market board, or you could sell it directly off your character, where it, you know, made sense that your character might be AFK in a weird spot. Like, we don't have that anymore. I don't even remember if we had it in 1.0. You could drop your retainers into a market area, though. That existed. Which was how the market board worked originally. We basically didn't have one. You had to look up what item you were looking for and then go find the fucking NPC. Eventually, they converted that area to be a market board if you didn't want to have to go looking for the NPC. That was a Yoshida edit. That didn't happen for quite a number of years. Yay. That's such a dumb idea. It looked cool and it sounds cool on paper, but try actually looking through 200 NPCs in one tiny cramped room when there is draw distance, preventing a bunch of them from loading in. You try doing that and tell me that's a good idea. It made looking for anything out of that market board absolutely impossible sometimes. And I played Bard. That was back when we had actual usable arrows. So I had to frequently go in there and look for items in order to restock on my arrow supply. Why am I glad that's gone too? Having to go get separate ammo is such a tedious thing. Not to mention, really only like one type of arrows is even remotely usable. Just whatever happened to be the highest level. I don't remember if elemental arrows existed, but there was pretty much only like one arrow type I ever used, so I don't think it mattered that much. Because, you know, elemental damage and weapon damage types actually mattered back then. To some extent, anyways. Same with elemental resistances. Those are a thing of the past, and good fucking riddance. Like, there was a certain amount of dumbing down of the game that absolutely needed to happen. And most of it happened off of 1.0. Still don't know why Dragoons had worse magic defense by default back then. Still don't know what that decision was. Made no fucking sense. And then pretty much every enemy had frickin' AoE magic damage. And not dodgeable magic damage. Full room magic damage. For the longest time, they didn't directly tell us what type of damage it was. You had to look in the text logs, and it's just like, cool, that's tedious. Now we at least have icons that pop up on screen along with the drop-down text. So, there's 3 icons. It's pretty hard to miss them. Keep in mind, we didn't get those until, you know, long after Dark Knight was released, and Dark Knight's whole thing is, you know, having the ability to resist magic damage better with some of its abilities. I think that's still the case, too. I think one of its things is magic resistance specific, and not damage overall specific. I don't remember. I'd have to actually look. That is how it started out. It was meant to be used for basically magic resistance. Which made it so much worse to level and play on everything else. Another one of those baffling decisions where it's like, why did you guys ever do this in the first place? And again, they also said they're never releasing 3 jobs at a time because of Heaven's Ward, so, yeah. Frickin' Heavensward basically killed that ever happening again. They said it was too much to balance, which, doesn't surprise me, because both Dark Knight and Astrologian were kind of garbage back then. And Machinist had a whole host of issues on launch. Mostly due to its cast time thing. And then by the end of Heavensward, Astrologian was downright broken, and literally everybody played it, whether they had any business playing it or not. I've told that story so many times. There were so many bad Astrologians, because that job took actual skill back then. And knowing how the fuck to use your cards correctly, which most of them didn't. And would sit on era cards for no reason the entire dungeon run. It's like, sir, you have a separate ability that gives you MP regen. You don't need to sit on an era card most of the fucking dungeon. If you're doing your job correctly and people are dodging, you don't need that fucking thing. And by that point, it's not like it was underpowered. It's not like trying to do vault when everybody's eating every single fucking hit. Back when it was its old version. I've done that. Don't want to do that again. That final boss is already a nightmare with people getting hit. Try doing it when your abilities are half-assed and run out of MP instantly. That was not a fun experience. And I was hanging out with a friend on that one too, and she was like, about halfway through, I was like, wait, why aren't you rezzing people? And then I saw your MP, and I was like, yeah, it's because they literally refused to stop getting hit for 2 seconds. They got hit by, like, every single fucking attack. That entire dungeon. Except for her. It was just the tank and the other DPS that were a problem. After a while, I basically just had to give up on the other DPS. They literally ate every single fucking hit they could. And there was not enough MP in the world to deal with it, with how Astrologian's old abilities worked. And that was rough on Astrologian's old abilities, when people weren't getting hit by every single attack. I also did Bismarck EX back then, too. That was after it had been buffed a tiny bit, but it wasn't the powerhouse it became at the end of Heavensward. So it was still very, very fucking stupid and hard to use. And just underpowered overall. And now its cards are dumbed down so much that they're just entirely uninteresting. I'm still annoyed about that. And not so much the fact that they, you know, got rid of the old card system. I'm kind of whatever about that now. I'm just mad they've dumbed it down so much that there's absolutely no interest in the cards whatsoever. Every time you spin up the cards, you get 2 tanking ones and 1 DPS one. And that's basically it. That's what you get to work with. That's so boring. Like, at least before, in its last iteration, you were still working towards something with the card pulls. Because it gave you a buff. And the amount of the buff that you got was based on the sigils that were on the cards. They basically had a secondary system attached to them. They were all DPS cards back then, but the secondary symbols on them mattered. And now they're just the most boring shit ever. I'm so sad about that. I used to like Astrologian if I felt like doing something more complicated. Now it's just like, nah. I don't want to touch it. It's so bad. PvP I'm fine with because it's just YOLO the entire time. and can get out of shit that it really shouldn't, honestly, even before I got a dash. But VBE? No, they've kind of destroyed what made it fun. Used to have a unique mechanic, and now that unique mechanic's so dumbed down, I'm surprised it's even in the game anymore. Like, what else are they gonna do to simplify it in, like, the next 2 expansions? Oh, hey, now you have all of, like, 2 cards. Have fun. You have all of 2 cards, and they do a full room AoE. Let's face it, they'll probably get reworked in 2 expansions from now, 2 or 3. Again. They don't get reworked on the next one immediately. It was also like I had all these macros to fucking handle the cards, and now half those macros don't matter. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck SE's doing anymore. Kind of the problem. I said it before, I'm just kind of, like, overall disappointed with the entirety of all the job changes. Some jobs basically didn't change at all. Dragoon and Reaper, as far as I can tell, didn't really change whatsoever. They got, like, a few additives onto their original kit, and that was about it. Most of it was just, oh, hey, this now does a flashier effect. Cool. Thank you. They completely ruined Red Mage's flow for me, which is why I'm on Viper now. I've been maining Red Mage since it came out. They didn't like what they did with Bard. Granted, my dislike of Bard was immediate the moment I saw the changes. I didn't level it and then try to use it as main and decide I didn't like it, so I, ended up being forced to level it because X-Death exists and, nobody wanted to keep Esena on their bar, so I had no choice if I didn't want to die immediately, because the first thing X-Death does is use Doom on 2 players. That was such a fucking newbie check. Shit, that was a actual skilled player check, because so many fucking healers couldn't be bothered. Despite the fact that they hadn't played the content before to keep Esena on their bars. So you'd start that fight, and oh hey, 2 of your DPS are immediately dead for no fault of their own. That was fun. Which is the only reason I fucking leveled Bard and used it on raids back then, because I couldn't trust the healers to do their fucking jobs. And then after that, it was like, oh, they expect the other healer to fucking do it. Like, piss off. And that was after they added the line that tells you, hey, this is removable. I literally even said on Twitter, when they made that announcement, yes, and then healers are still not going to bother to remove it. And somebody responded, well, as long as it's not Doom, who fucking cares? And then nobody removed Doom. Congrats. You fucking played yourself, morons. Like I fucking predicted that would happen. Gee. It's not like the player base behaves the exact same way every single time. There's only, like, one situation I can think of where you really don't want to Esena something. And it's that final boss of, Ilmeg, or Domeg, or whatever the fuck it's called. Because it's just going to put bleed back up, and by the time you manage to get 3 of them off, the 4th one's already wearing off anyways. You're better off just putting regens on. It's one of the few instances where there's just kind of no points. It is removable, as far as I remember, but why bother in that situation if he's just gonna do it again? And it would take you longer to remove them than they would take to actually fall off on their own. I'm also like, why didn't you guys do that to start with? Because, coil turn 1. That, ADS units. Back then, it had a non-removable paralyze. You had no way to know it was not removable until you tried to remove it and nothing happened. Eventually, they just changed that, I think. I think it's removable now. It wasn't originally. You just had no way to tell the difference whatsoever until you tried to remove it and nothing happened. That's it. That was such bad design. The icon didn't look any different. It looked and behaved like Paralyze. Now, granted, it shouldn't have been going off in the first place if you were doing shit correctly, but, yeah. But still, my argument still stands. It's so stupid that we ever had this issue. There's also no way to tell really, back then, to tell the difference between a healable Doom and a removable Doom. And to be fair, it's not really intuitive right now that healing will remove one type of Doom either. You just kind of hope the healer does their fucking job and puts 2 and 2 together. Which, like, that requires critical thinking skills, which most of the player base does not have. I was about to say, why did that not spawn things? I think it was resetting the totem thing. I think I'm about to wrap up. I'm kind of tired and haven't had anyone to talk to this whole time. Throwing my fucking voice out, doing nothing. Yeah, let me hit one more trade and then I'm gonna wrap up. Well, I'll get myself to a safe location first, because I don't know how long I'm gonna take to wrap up. That way, if I walk away from my computer for a bit right after, it's fine. Also, I still find it funny that you gave us the ability to use mounts while moving around, but, don't let us use mounts in the Cosmic Exploration area. Weird that you made that change and then immediately forced us to not use it. I don't know. SE is just kind of stupid. Kind of fucking stupid these days. I don't understand why we're making some of these changes and then just not utilizing them. Considering Cosmic Exploration would have been the prime time to use this fucking ability. I don't know. I don't fucking know anymore. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me today. I'm probably not gonna stream tomorrow. I should get some work done. And maybe relax, get some reading done, because, I, didn't get any... No, I did do some reading today. I got some done last night, too. Yeah. The plan should be the same, you know, weekly reset on Tuesday. And then I don't fucking know what. I never do. I never fucking know what I'm up to at any given point in time. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. So, thanks for coming, guys. And I'll see y'all next time.